Good morning, everyone. Just double checking I have the screen in the right way today. Hope you're all well. Here we are, back, some of our Brisbane friends in lockdown. Yes, I look like I'm operating on the right way here. Look like I've got a bit of a hair sticking up everywhere. So, welcome to today. We'll get started in a few moments, and today's class will be a little bit of core exercise today, trying to strengthen that core to help with our spine stability and our youthfulness as well. So make yourself comfortable. We'll start off with grounding, and then if you need any blocks or pillows or blankets, if it's starting to get a little bit cooler now, so at the end of the class you may need something to just cover yourself up in Shavasana. As you can see, I am still on land and I'm still staying with our friends at the moment, but in a couple of weeks' time we will move into our own place for a little while before we head off to the Coral Sea Islands in June and again in August. I'll just check to see who's online. If anyone's there, say hi. Just make sure I'm fully on the screen. You can see my whole mat. Yes, you can. What time is it? All right, 1 more minute. So grab a cushion to sit on to start with, and let's begin in sitting, any way you choose. What do I do with my glasses? I just saw somebody. Oh, hi Sharon, how are you? Nice to see you there. Right. All right, so sit comfortably. Just be mindful that you're sitting on the edge of the pillow or the blanket or the block on those sit bones. So you're feeling that sensation of that falling of the pelvis. Close down the eyes. Place the hands on the knees or at your heart center. Let's start to scan the body and see how you're feeling. Check in with yourself. How is the breath? Is it long and deep? Or is it short and shallow? Let's try to bring it to an even inhalation and a long, deep exhalation. Notice if there's any tenseness in the shoulders, the back, the knees. We tend to hold any stress in our lower back or trapezius muscles in the upper thoracic area, shoulders, sometimes in the back of the neck, or maybe those temples. Just check in with the body and try to send the breath to where you need it. Let's all together take a long, deep inhalation in through the nose. And then breathe all breath out, long and deep. One more of these. Inhale deeply through the nose and then send all breath out, long and deep. Third and final inhalation in, long and deep. Then send breath out long, fully emptying all breath out. Let's set an intention for bringing you to your mat today. Breathe that intention in and exhale it out fully. Start to open your eyes and let's just slowly move into child's pose to start today. Toes touching, knees slightly apart, arms out in front of us. And let's just start to rock from side to side, just to waken up those hips. And then slowly rest the body back, sit bones towards the heels, hands out in front of you and lower the forehead. Maybe place the cushion underneath the forehead today if you like. Maybe still rock from side to side a little bit. We're just gently waking up the body. Remove the cushion if you had it and come to all fours. And just inhale, inflating the lumbar area as you breathe in, making sure the hands are spread underneath the shoulders, feet and knees are hip-width distance apart. As you lower the belly, let's awaken the spine. Broaden through the chest and look up. Soft gaze into our cat-cow poses. Inhale, arch up, arch up, arch up, rounding that thoracic area. And as you send all breath out, lower the belly, broaden through the chest, look up. Inhale in and stay with a nice long flat back. Just hold yourself there for a moment, breathing into the core. Then lower the belly, inhale in, broaden through the chest, curl the tailbone, look up. Remember, nice strong arms, gather them in. And then exhale, breath out this time. Looking towards the belly button, rounding up the spine. One more, curling the tailbone, broadening through the chest, looking up. And then rounding the spine, arching up. arching up, arching up. Just slightly reach the hands out in front of you and curl the toes. And let's press up into our first downward facing dog today. Bend the knees to start with. Just step the heels out, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Waking up those calf muscles and hamstrings. Remembering to keep the chest nice and broad. Arms are gathered in. Maybe press the heels closer to the earth now. Relax the breath. Really try and press the chest down a little bit more towards the mat today. So we're sort of creating a little arch in the lower back. And then come back up through, lifting the head a little bit. And then press the chest deeper towards the mat. So you're actually really reaching the chest closer towards the mat. You can keep the knees bent if you like. Try not to strain those calf muscles too quickly when we're not too warm. Then slowly look forward between the hands, walk forward. Toes touching, heels slightly apart. And we're going to reach our hands behind us and clasp onto the hands. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to open up the shoulders a little bit by reaching the arms up. Keep those inhalations and exhalations going nice and deep. One more breath and let's release the hands and we're moving into our chair pose just for a moment. And then lengthening through the legs, reaching the fingertips towards the sky. Feel that whole spine lengthening as the feet ground into the mat. Bring the hands together in prayer at the heart center, Samastiti, standing position. Allow the hands to float down alongside the body into Tadasana. Raise the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, let's fold over the legs. All breath out, bend the knees if you need to. Allow the head to hang. Inhale, come up into our nice long spine, crown of the head, into our Adha Uttanasana. Exhale, send all breath out as you fold over the legs again. Let's step the right foot back towards the back of the mat. You can drop the knee if you need to. Float the arms up towards the sky. We're really trying to move that right hip back and that left sit bone, that right hip forward and that left hip back. You can have the right hand reached up, the left hand down alongside the body if you like. Or both hands up. Then bring both hands down to the inside of the left knee. And let's open that left knee up towards the left into our lizard pose. Remembering you can always drop to the knee if you need to, if we're on the boat and we need a little bit more stability there. Really breathe into that outer left hip area. One more breath. Let's join the right foot to meet the left. Come up into our Adha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over the legs, all breath out. And then inhale, come into our chair pose. Then allow the hands to raise up towards the sky, lengthen through the legs, reaching, feeling that whole length in the spine. Exhale, send all breath out as you fold over the leg. Inhale, coming up into our Adha Uttanasana. This time stepping our left foot back to the back of the mat. Drop the knee if you need to. Or if you're stable with the feet, floating the arms up towards the sky. Excuse me, not having a fall, looking at the camera. Remembering that left hip moves forward. Right hip is moving back. You can float the right hand down towards the earth if you like. Press that chest forward. one more breath as you float the hands towards the earth. Drop the knee if you need to. And open the right leg up towards the right. I'll come forward so you can see me a little bit better instead of being on that side. Keep breathing into that opening, into that outer right hip area. Keep smiling. One more breath. And then bring the right foot back to the earth and step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, coming into your Ardha Uttanasana. Crown of the head really reaches forward and the sit bones reach back as the fingertips are on the shins of the earth. Send all breath out as you fold. And inhale, come up into your chair pose, toes touching, knees together. Sit down low like you're sitting down into a chair. You're gathering those arms in, you're broadening the chest. And we're twisting. We're taking that right elbow to the outside of the left knee, hands in prayer position. And we're just going to turn and look off towards the left. Really try and squeeze into those belly organs as you turn off towards the left to help our digestive organs. Keep our inhalations and exhalations going. I know those quadriceps, you're feeling them in the tops of the legs there. Inhale, unwind, come back up. If you need to stand straight for a moment, go for it. Otherwise, stay here. We're going to the other side. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee, hands in prayer position. And turn and look off towards the right. Starting to feel some heat in the body now. Take those long, deep inhalations and exhalations. One more breath, and then come back to center. Raise the arms up, reach the hands up towards the sky. And really reach with those fingertips broaden through the chest. Bring the hands back behind you, clasp onto the hands again as you fold over the legs. Allow the head to hang. Keep your inhalations and exhalations going. One more breath, releasing the fingertips to the shins and hands to the earth. I want you to step back. Now, a couple of options here. You can step back into your high plank. If that's too intense for you, you can come down to your forearms. I want you to just hold here for a few breaths. So we're really making sure that when we're up high or low, that the heels are pressing as if you're pressing into a wall behind you. Your crown of the head's moving forward and nice strong arms. One more breath. We're working the core here. Really breathe into the core, inflate that lower back. Everybody drop the knees if you're not already there. Come through the hands. Move into our cobra pose. Then move the body forward, come into our Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Chest forward, all the legs are on the mat. Tops of the legs on the mat. And press up into downward facing dog. Take a long, deep inhalation here. Breathe all breath out. One more of these, we're going to move back into our plank pose. Remembering you can drop the knees if you need to, or come onto our forearms. Really try not to let the lower back sag. You want to be pressing back, really creating a spear, or being up into high plank. Working the core a little bit here today. One more breath. Everybody drop the knees. Move through the hands, come into our cobra pose, getting that nice little strength in the lower back, or move the body forward, arms straighten and come up into your Urdhva Mukha, your upward facing dog. This time, Bring the knees out wide, toes touching. We're going to move into our child's pose. Really reach the fingertips out in front of you, walk them out slowly, slowly, just like little spider legs, and relax the forehead. Take a few breaths here. And then I want you to release the arms alongside the body, fingertips towards the back. We're going to work the side obliques now. So I want you to come up. Now, a couple of ways here. You can either be in high plank and just roll over and stack the feet and reach the left hand up. So we're on the right hand. Or, if that's too intense, you can just come onto the knees and sweep the right knee to the earth. Left foot is out, and we're sweeping the left hand up towards the sky. If you feel that you want to, there's a few variations. Even you can be on your forearm. So you can either have the forearm facing this way, elbow underneath the shoulder, hand out, and you can be down low like this. This is actually quite a good one on the boat if it's rocking or you're in a little bit more unstable waters. So I won't keep you there much longer. Everybody come back to your knees and press back into child's pose. Arms out in front of you or behind you, wherever you're feeling comfortable today. And one more breath. And let's come back up. And I'll go this side so you can see me. So whatever variation you're going to be in, your forearm plank or you're going up into your high plank. And we're going to roll either knee to the earth or stack the feet and raise the right hand up towards the sky. Keep smiling. Keep breathing. So wherever you are, you might have the knee down. You might be up like this. We're all different, remember. So wherever you are, keep breathing. Nice strong toes. Press the toes away to keep that strength in the legs. Remembering if the forearm is down, the elbow should be underneath the shoulder. One more breath. Roll around. Come back onto the knees and press back into child's pose. This time, we'll float the hands behind you and lower the forehead. So check in with your breath, your inhalations and your exhalations. Keep breathing long and deep. And one more breath, and let's come back up. Now I want you to come into a squatting position. With the feet quite wide, so they're about, if you had the, I haven't got the mat out in front of me, but it's about as quite wide. Bring your legs quite wide, nearly as wide as the mat. Either, if you can, float the heels towards the earth, float them towards the earth. Otherwise, heels can be up. You can always have a blanket under them as well. And bring the hands together in prayer position. It's a really great pose for lengthening the lower back. If you had a sore back, if you ever, throughout the day, you can always rest in this pose. You can always just rock from side to side a little bit as well if you're feeling a little bit unstable. And if you are feeling you can't be with the hands in prayer position, just place the hands onto the earth or have a couple of blocks in front of you just to rest the hands onto the blocks. And you can hold on to either sides of the blocks with the elbows into the knees. So just allow the whole pelvis to feel heavy towards the earth. Keep breathing, keep smiling. One more breath. And release the blocks if you had them, hands to the earth. And I want you to just press up and bring the legs quite wide. We're doing our wide leg standing forward fold. And just to start with, making sure that the toes are pointing away as well. So they're pointing off to the left and the right. As you inhale in, just bring the fingertips underneath the body. Nice long spine. And then as you exhale, send those sit bones up really, really high and allow the head to fall towards the earth. Don't force the head to touch the earth. But just relax, allow the head to hang. And breathe into the insides of the legs there where you're feeling the opening. And one more breath, and let's come up, nice long spine. This time place the right fingers underneath the body, and I want you to sweep the left hand out in front of you and rotate it up towards the sky as you look off towards the left. We're doing our Pavrita, revolved, wide leg, standing forward fold. If you're feeling that shoulder is uncomfortable in any way, you can always rotate it around again, just to unwind any stiffness there. Keep breathing. And one more breath. Release the left hand to join the right and change positions. Left hand is out in front of you, and we're rotating the right hand forward, look up as it rotates towards the sky. Now if that feels uncomfortable looking up at the hand, you can always gaze down at the left hand to the earth. If you need help with the extension there, you can always place a block under the left hand as well. Always remember you can adjust the feet if you need to. If you're feeling you're in this position too long, too wide, just move yourself in a bit closer. Your feet in a bit closer. And one more breath. Bring both hands back down to center. And let's exhale, fold over the legs again. One more breath, and then slowly, slowly heel, toe, the feet together until you've got toes touching, heels slightly apart again, coming into your halfway lift, and exhale, send all breath out. And then step back into your downward facing dog. Notice how the body feels now that you're warmer. Are your heels closer to the earth? Really send those sit bones up and away. Remember the arms are strong. Don't collapse with the elbows. Broaden through the chest. Remember the feet are hip width distance. The hands are shoulder width distance. Let's take a long deep inhalation in and lion's breath it out. Send the tongue out. Breathe out with your exhalation. One more breath, and we're going to come back into our plank pose again. Now, I said we're going to be working the core today, so you can have the knees down or come into your forearms again, whatever you like. But this time we're going to come into, we call something called the burglar pose. We're going to draw the right knee up towards the left elbow and place it back down. Remember not to collapse into the lower back. If you feel like this is too much for you, just rest in child's pose. Bring the knee in and draw it towards the right elbow and flip back into your
forearm plank if you're there, or high plank. If you're up high, you'll be drawing the knee in to the left elbow and stepping back. Drawing, the left knee into the right elbow, the right knee into the left elbow. So do that on your own at one, changing sides. Right knee to the left elbow, left knee to the right elbow. Then drop the knees back down and press back into our child's pose. So I'm working you out a little bit today, creating some heat in the body and trying to create some strength in that core area. And one more breath, and let's come to a seated position onto our mats. And we're going to go into a pose, into our Gomukhasana pose, our cow face pose. So if you like, you can be sitting back onto your pillow again. And let's start with both legs out in front of us. And we're going to just go slow. We're going to take that right foot to the outside of the left leg. And with Gomukhasana, we really want to be planting the feet, making sure the feet are planted into the mat. Now we can stay right here with the big toe of the straight foot pressing away, and we can just support the right knee and the left foot there, and a nice long spine, sit bones, crown of the head reaching towards the sky. And we can just sweep the left hand to the outside of that right knee and right hand behind us, and we turn and look off. Now this is a beginner's variation. If you're wanting to go deeper into your Gomukhasana, sweeping the left foot over towards the right, but I want you to use that right fingertips behind you to lift up and sit over towards the left, so you ground down both sit bones. So the intention with Gomukhasana is not to stack the knees. We get that cue a lot for Gomukhasana, and we never want to be stacking joints and joints, but even though we are in that action as such, that the knees look like they're quite stacked if you're quite open. But we're really trying to move that right knee across the midline of the body. So the right knee, you're pressing it with the left arm across towards the left. We really want to be grounded down, turning and looking off towards the right. I know I did a lot of talking in that one. We'll go the other side and I'll do a little less, but I wanted to give you those options. So we really want to be pressing down with that right side of the body and then back, like press that sit bone back and then open up towards the right. So you really start to feel that opening. So sometimes we're just sitting here twisting and we're not feeling anything, but if you sat down, press back and open up towards the right, you really feel that outer right hip area opening up. And let's release out of the pose and go the other way. Legs out in front of us. So you go to your variation, taking the left foot over towards the right, support it. Otherwise, roll over onto the right and sweep the left foot. Bring that right arm to the outside of the left knee and turn and look off towards the left. So remembering, we want to raise the sit bones up and sit off towards the left. Really ground down towards the earth. We want to sit down with that left sit bone. We want to press it back and then open up towards the left. Hope you can feel that opening and breathe into it. So we're not actually leaning back in this pose, we're actually moving forward. So the body's sort of moving forward, but the sit bone is moving back, down and out. One more breath, and let's unfold with that exhalation. And join both feet together for our Buttockanasana pose. So use the fingers sort of like the butterfly as well, and press the thumbs to the insides of the feet and wrap them around the hands around the toes. If you want to flap the legs a little bit just like the butterfly, you can, to open up a little bit more and release a little bit more. And then slowly, slowly send the sit bones back towards the back of the mat as you move your body forward. Keep those inhalations going as you lengthen the spine, breathe in. And as you exhale, fold forward, open up a little more, breathe into the pose. Never overstretch. If you're feeling it's too intense or painful in any way, remember to float the knees up higher to take that off, that pain away. We never want to experience any pain or discomfort. It's just challenging ourselves but being kind to our bodies. One more breath, and let's release the legs out wide into our wide leg seated forward fold. Coming into some of the final poses now. So use the fingertips behind you to get long in the spine and press the toes away, the big toes away, to lengthen through the legs. And actually when you press the toes away, the knees actually move a little bit, the backs of the knees move a little bit more down towards the earth, or sometimes flexing the toes forward as well. And let's go into our Pavarita wide leg, taking the right elbow to the inside of the leg. Now we're side tilting the pelvis over the leg. We're sweeping the left hand up and over the head towards the right toes. Keep breathing into that left side of the body, as you should be really feeling it from the hip area all the way along that left side body, all the way up the arm that's to the fingertips that are sweeping towards those right toes. If you have more opening in the pose, you're going to be holding onto the feet, but I don't want you to fold forward to compromise the spine, the pose. You need to really open up towards the left if you're holding onto the feet. But never rush that. Being up high, you're going to get the same opening. Take your last inhalation in and lengthen. And as you exhale, let's float to the other side. Left hand to the inside of the leg. Side tilt the pelvis over the left leg as you sweep the right fingertips towards the left toes. Really breathe in, open, feel expansive on that right side. Keep a smile on your dial. Keep breathing. Keep opening as you inhale in. Really reach with those right fingertips. Try not to let that right hand flop into space. Or if you're going deeper, remember not to fold forward. Open up. One more breath, and let's float up, and let's come back into our camel pose. So bringing our knees onto the earth and our toes are hip width distance apart. Let's spread the fingertips and place them behind us on the lower back, onto that sacrum area. We're going to slightly tilt the pubic bone up, sternum forward, and we're going to drop the head. We want to keep the knees and the hips in one line. Let's just go slow. We'll do 3 of these today, so even if you can go a little deeper, let's stay up high for the first one. Opening up that front body. One more breath, chin to chest, and let's press back into our child's pose, reaching the fingertips out in front of us and lower the forehead. Remembering to keep those long, deep inhalations and exhalations going. Breathe in and breathe out. And one more breath, and we're going to come back up on the inhalation. Or stay in child's pose if that's where you want to be. Moving into a little deeper with the pose, or stay in the first stage if it's where you're comfortable. Tilt that pubic bone forward, sternum reaches forward. Slide the hands down to the backs of the legs and drop the head. Really press that sternum up and away. So there shouldn't be any pinching or crunching in the lower back because the sternum is reaching up and away and taking that pressure off. You feel like you're riding that big wave as the whole body opens up like a curling wave and the head falls back. One more breath. Come up slowly, chin to chest, and press back to lengthen the spine out now as we're flexing and extending the spine. Fingertips reach forward, sit bones reach back, and drop the head. Take a few long, deep inhalations and exhalations here. Sometimes the breath can increase a little bit when we do those heart opening poses. So let's really turn the breath to those nice, long, deep inhalations, exhalations. Now decide now, as you inhale in, either come up or stay where you are. And we're going to move into third and final. Now you don't have to move into touching the toes. You can go back to holding on to the backs of the legs. But if you can keep your hips in one line and you can fold back and hold on to the feet, maybe you just hold on with one hand and reach the other hand up towards the sky. Or if you have the opening that you can hold on to both feet and you can keep the hips in one line, the sternum pressing up and away, and drop the head. Keep breathing. One more breath. And chin to chest, and press back into child's pose. Slowly, slowly reach those hands out in front of you as the sit bones press back. Feel the length, how you're lengthening out the spine. Relax the head. And one more breath. And I want you to come up, and if you can you sit either onto the tops of the heels, or if you have the opening to do Virasana of taking the feet out wider than the hips, and you're feeling comfortable with that rotation of the knees coming in. And if that rotation of the knees feels really uncomfortable, sit up a little bit and really try and roll that right knee out, and then roll the left knee out as you sit down. So you're not really trying to move those knees. You don't want the knees to feel uncomfortable, so they're rolling in and you're feeling that really uncomfortableness on the knee area. Sitting up and really feel like you're rolling, expanding those knees open. But if that feels uncomfortable, just sit any way you choose. Now I want you to place the fingertips behind you. Two variations here, challenging you a little bit today, that we're going to move all the way back towards the back of the mat by placing the forearms down onto the mat. Otherwise, just place the fingertips behind you. Make sure you can see me. Otherwise, just making sure that my knees are comfortable. We're either going to be sitting just back like this and pressing the chest away. So sort of really getting some flexion, some opening up here of the quads, the ankles, and also the chest as we come back. But if you have the ability to go all the way back and you're comfortable doing this, you can come back onto the forearms and then bring the head down towards the mat. You can have the hands out in behind you. And this is quite an advanced pose, so if that feels uncomfortable on the knees in any way, and please come out of it. It's not worth it. But if you're doing it and you're breathing and you're feeling this beautiful opening in the quads and those ankles, relax and breathe into it. Remembering you can always back up if you've gone too far and bring the elbows up. Won't hold you too much longer here. And then everybody, if you're all the way back, come up onto the elbows. Slowly, slowly make your way all the way back up. And bring the legs out in front of you. And I want you to just windscreen wiper those feet from left to right. Just to shake out any of that tightness or that you've felt in the body. And let's come and lie down onto our backs. We're just going to bring the knees into the chest, and we're going to do a supine pigeon before we move into Shavasana today. So take the right ankle and just place it below the left knee. Reach through the gap you created in the legs. Spread the toes to engage the muscles. Just lift the head up and make sure that the head is in one line with the neck. Keep breathing. Slowly move that left knee towards the chest a little more. And breathe into that outer right hip opening. Try not to lift the buttocks up off the mat. Press the tailbone down. Relax and breathe. Enjoy the pose. Long, deep inhalations and exhalations. Remembering always your heart is the light of this world. Don't cover it up with your mind. One more breath and release the legs and change sides. Left ankle's just below the right knee. Reach through the gap you created. You can use the left elbow to open up that left leg a little bit more if you need some more opening. Spread the toes. Lift the head. Make sure the neck is in one line with the spine. With the hands, move the right knee until you're challenging yourself, feeling a beautiful opening in that left side, but not too intense. Breathe into it. Keep the breath nice and smooth. Send the breath to that outer left side. Feel the release. Last breath as you release the hands. As an inhalation, you reach up, hold on to the feet or the toes into a happy baby pose. Let's rock from side to side a little bit in happy baby. And then rest into the pose, tailbone towards the mat. Feel the release in the inner legs, inner groin, outer hips. And then release the legs all the way down for the final pose today. Corpse pose, Shavasana. Allow the feet to flop open towards the sides, the arms are out. Relax the whole body along the mat. Stay where you are. I'll sit up and talk you through a little more. The breath returns to normal, allowing the belly to rise and fall with every inhalation and exhalation. Relax all limbs to the earth. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth and relax the jaw. The whole body sinks into the earth or ocean beneath you. Feel weightless, like you're lying in a hammock. Allow the thoughts to float by like clouds in the sky. Try not to plan your day in this pose. This is your time. A few minutes of the day where you sit quietly with yourself and honor your body. Slowly, slowly start to move the fingertips, the joints of the fingers. Start to move the toes. Maybe windshield wiper the feet in and out, legs in and out. Do the same with the hands and the arms. And then be still again. Rock the head, no, no. Awaken the neck. And then allow it to be still. Move the chest up off the mat, creating some space in the lower back, and then allow the spine to release back to the mat. Slightly raise the hips up and then allow them to move back down towards the earth. Imagine my fingers are hovering over your shoulders and pressing them a little deeper, broadening your chest more, relaxed more to the earth. Raise your fingertips up to your third eye. Slowly, slowly massage the third eye, walking one finger, the other finger of each hand up. Then slowly allow the fingers to roll on top of the eyebrows towards those temples and give your temples that beautiful rotation clockwise and then anti-clockwise. Allow your fingers to ride along your jawbone all the way down to those pressure points below the neck. Give those a little rotation clockwise, clockwise, then anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise. Gently, gently allow the fingertips to roll all the way down to those little pressure points on either side of the base of the neck. Roll clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise. Then allow the hands to rest back down onto the earth. Move the hands back up and allow them to draw together but not touching. Then open the hands up, drawing the energy you're feeling away from the hands, then moving them back, a little bit like jellyfish in the ocean. Opening the hands, then releasing them back together, creating that chi ball of energy. Then open the hands up and allow them to rest above the heart, towards the belly, just hovering, feeling that energy from the hands around that abdomen area, to the pelvis, along the tops of the legs as far as you can reach, and then open the hands back up, resting onto the earth, back into Shavasana. Slowly bring the knees into the chest and roll over onto the right side of your body, and make your way back, when you're ready, to a seated position. And now, let's remember our intention with our hands to the heart center we made at the beginning of the practice today. Scan how the body feels. Send love and light out into this beautiful world we live in. Taking the hands to the third eye between the brow and back to the heart. Namaste. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Take this feeling out into your day. Thank you for watching today. We're coming up close to Easter, and I know many of us in Brisbane and now maybe the Gold Coast are back in these COVID times again at the forefront of our mind. Try to come back to these practices as much as possible to create peace of mind and strength in body. So I will see you next time, or on the next video you challenge or engage in. Bye for now.